Hello everyone and now welcome to a DreamHack match fall open qualifier going between TeRRoR and JohnnyCage. TeRRoR has spawned as the red undead over here on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, JohnnyCage spawning as the yellow human. Human versus undead in a 1v1 matchup. And well, and this is some of the things that is often said, like is undead um win rate against human high because undead has an unnatural advantage over human, or is it because happy plays undead? The other undead players out there play undead so well that and play so well that they're naturally able to beat human. It's one of those, like, what is the cause, what the effect is, and trying to find whether or not it is a correlation or a causation. And one of those difficult things to try and determine the reason for success and the disparity in the undead versus human, racial matchup. Now, as undead players are trying different strategies, and as human players continue to develop new strategies, only time can tell where everything will land. I still think if there is some sort of way that you can research dwarven resistance, similar to how trolls get regeneration, and things of that nature. If you can get, or pillage allows grunts and raiders to get a bit of an upgrade. If you can give dwarven resistance to give a little bit of magic resistance to riflemen and to mortar teams, and any other dwarf unit out there, if my mind, it currently escapes me if there are any more, then it might actually help that human versus undead matchup very much, just because of how deadly Death Coil Frost Nova is against that matchup there, and how difficult it is to just try and keep those units properly healed. Anyways, we see a footman pulling away the rock golem and all of these other remaining units here. Water elemental is already going to be there trying to tank some of those units. Forest troll, high priest absorbing quite a bit of damage. He needs to go after that mud golem as well. Going to get taken down. Archmage does pick up or will be able to pick up a Tome of Intelligence. Whether or not professional players pick up tomes, well, that is something else entirely. Meanwhile, TeRRoR off to the north, clearing up and going for a bit of a go-wide strategy. He does have a Sacrificial Skull and still has this Altar of Darkness. He does have a 6th Acolyte, so we could be looking at a possible fast expansion attempt too. I'm going into 2-base play this early. Undead normally was not able to try and set up expansions early on, but with this new style of play, opening things up, perhaps, the Crypt Lord can be able to get in a little bit of damage. Archmage already pulling over, trying to get in a little bit of aggro, and TeRRoR wants nothing to do with the Archmage and that 5-3-3 creep camp. Coming back down off to the side here, Archmage does sit at level 2, does have that Brilliance Aura here on Concealed Hill, and one of my favorite maps before the introduction of a whole bunch of maps. And now Concealed Hill just actually feels a little bit dated because of the tile set. Right, this green forest tile set here, that's used on so many maps. It does, similar to Twisted Metals, even Turtle Rock, even though Turtle Rock, I should think, should be a much more tropical island setting, actually looks very green, such as this. Archmage now wandering around, but the beetles of TeRRoR actually scouting information for them there, as we are looking at militia clearing out of the 6 o'clock position. All right, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 going to be dropped there and left behind. Footman now trying to go after a couple of those units, and we're going to be looking at dual Nerubian towers already in position to try and, stop or spice things up. There is a 6th Acolyte. Archmage is around here trying to get a little bit more damage, get a little bit more death onto an Acolyte. Once one Acolyte does go down, level 3, and now will be level 2 Archmages, but a scroll of Town Portal indicating, that the Crypt Lord is trying to protect his home. All right, no real major losses. TeRRoR did have the 6th Acolyte ready to go because of the possible expansion attempt, just bringing that Acolyte back into the office, as the office was full before. Now, What is the Archmage? What is the Undead and Human matchup looking to turn into now? We do see a Lumber Mill, and well, JohnnyCage is sitting a little bit behind in terms of tech. Meanwhile, a battle happening over here. Beetle is walking through the water, now trying to head back out, and still, the Necropolis is about to finish tier 2. We should be looking at a Death Knight second, and as that second hero, offering support to that Crypt Lord. Meanwhile, we should also be looking at the addition of an Obsidian statue, and from there, well, different strategies can arise. Undead players in Europe do often like to go for necromancers and meat wagons to try and put in a little bit of pressure with that a pop-up army, and that almost in and of itself it seems like an all-in attempt. We are looking at the Archmage dropping on a second Water Elemental, Tome of Agility now being left behind. Water Elemental now trying to come back here. Who's going to get the last shot off on that Ogre Magi as the units are now turning back and going up against that Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord taking quite a bit of damage, now being forced to retreat back here. Ogre Magi Archmage is going to get the experience. Yes, he does, but the item may go to the Crypt Lord. No, the Impale stun does not last that long. A beautiful micro control from JohnnyCage, making sure that TeRRoR did not get that last shot. Wow, it's been a long time since I last watched. Your mic sounds great. Well, thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to make proper changes to my sound card, my audio board, all of those things. I'm not even using a USB Yeti mic, which was not popular back when I started casting. This whole entire idea of streaming and casting is really an invention of 2000 and of the 10s, and then became popular, much more popular during the pandemic as people started to stay home. Meanwhile, Archmage looking to do a little bit more damage here. Crypt Lord getting some free experience from those water elementals, and still, no one has really tipped their hand in terms of their strategies. That we are going for a dual slaughterhouse coming in from TeRRoR. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom left, we are finishing up an Arcane Sanctum Rifleman. Where is the barracks? Oh, sorry, not barracks. Where's the blacksmith? No blacksmith as of yet, so no rifleman. So it may be priest and then perhaps I don't know. JohnnyCage does have his second hero out in that Mountain King. Archmage is still running about, but JohnnyCage seems, I would say, a bit lost right now. It doesn't feel like he has an actual definitive strategy. He is going to be picking up this Ogre Lord, using that trapping trick that is often used by the Blade Master. Mountain King taking and absorbing quite a bit of damage. Ogre Magi even coming over to join in on the fight as, well, there it goes, picks up a Hood of Cunning, and now going to go after this Ogre Magi here. 300 mana on a level 1 Mountain King. Mountain King could look to, well, perhaps Stormbolt a lot as the Death Knight sits at level 2, trying to inch closer to level 3 as well. There's that blacksmith, more farms getting added. Everything is being played very close to the vest here. If Undead were to try and engage in the human base with perhaps a meat wagon or two, there is really no good position for JohnnyCage to actually play defensively. Scroll of Town Portal, there's not a lot of room inside here, and for some reason the peasants are also clearing out these trees in a very not consistent manner, going deep and narrow into the trees, walking by some other trees in the process. Mountain King does sit at 2.5 here. Archmage still looking to wander around, finishing off some skeletal minions. And, well, we are finally at Castle with a Paladin third. All right. It is a hero-intensive army. Armies and population's 33 compared to 35 right now. But remember, some of TeRRoR's ghouls on lumber are considered into that army calculation. All right, Final Footman going to get finished off here as the units are making their way back. Meanwhile, Crypt Lord, Lich with Orb of Corruption, Death Knight, Claws of Attack +9 on that Death Knight should be given to the Lich most likely eventually, as the Death Knight, well, doesn't use its auto attack nearly as much. Only the fountains, or mainly the fountains, are still available for clearing. Death Knight could try and make its way down, perhaps try and clear up this, well, 5-3-3-3-1 creep camp. Very difficult to clear out. Hey, Burrow Rush, thank you. Where is Metaphysics? I don't know where Metaphysics is. He's sometimes here, sometimes not. So, yep. Metaphysics currently not here, hasn't said hi. We do see griffins out in the air, and that is going to be a problem. There are no crypt fiends down, as there are destroyers up in the air as well. Those crypt fiends are not, or sorry, those destroyers not going to do anything to those griffins are going to do anything to those destroyers. Meanwhile, quite a bit of damage being added in here. No orb of fire that I see. And well, there goes down. No orb of fire is actually on the Mountain King. I take it back. So heals are a little bit more difficult to be had. Griffins are going to get destroyed here in just a moment. Militia showing up, and the Death Knight could be in trouble. No, quick impale for the save there. Scroll of Town Portal could have been transferred over. No Scroll of Town Portal, as it was not repurchased from that earlier position. More damage. Holy Light finishes it off. Mountain King now sitting at level 3, trying to fight back. But while 3 heroes going up against 2 destroyers, Paladin has no way to really engage. Orb of Fire given to the Mountain King, so perhaps he can attack and engage against those destroyers who are still owning the skies here. More Griffin Riders are getting added into this position, but what can Griffin Riders really hope to do, as the Mountain King, as I mentioned earlier, having difficulty actually getting inside his own base to try and protect the main base here. All right, destroyers living up to their name, taking things down. No blacksmith, 4 riflemen, and 2 destroyers are living up to their name, causing havoc and raining down a death and destruction inside the human base. Arcane tower damage is not going to be that high. Meanwhile, what is JohnnyCage looking to do here? Trying to clear out some difficult creep camps during this time. Mountain King with that orb of fire, trying to continue to fight here, perhaps taking down the Forest Troll Berserker, and the Forest Troll High Priest is in order. Destroyers are all in position here, not even a Dragon Hawk Rider as of yet. I don't believe Animal War Training was, I don't believe Animal War Training was quite yet researched. So the Griffin Riders have 875 hit points, going to be going up against that Drake there, and now a Belt of Giant Strength will be dropped. Going back the other side here, Red Drake going to get focused down, but it still feels like TeRRoR has a bit of the advantage, even though his Death Knight still needs to be not even starting to be resurrected yet. And well, there isn't any room for him in the supply cap. Short of losing a unit or 2, not quite sure what can be done. Dragonhawk Rider looking to retreat back here, as there are 4 destroyers in the air. That is actually rather heavy on the destroyer count. And what was JohnnyCage thinking right there with that Dragonhawk Rider, feeding more experience once again? All right, destroyers looking at that water elemental, saying thank you for the delicious meal, you Archmage. As the Archmage realizes, wait, with 4 destroyers out in the air, not much can be done. And that's actually up to, what's that, 5? No, that is 5 destroyers. 5 destroyers, and well, without a rifleman in sight, JohnnyCage is going to be in serious trouble here, as Holy Light keeping that Dragonhawk Rider. A little bit of piercing damage on that Dragonhawk Rider, but as you know, well, shackles do not work on destroyers, as they are magic immune. Over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, more Dragonhawk Riders are getting invested in. We do see the Blacksmith here, and we are going into Animal War Training, and we are going into Steel Weapons Training. So soon it will be 1-0 upgrades on those Griffin Riders and those Dragonhawk Riders. Can you Holy Light Destroyer? No. Or only Healing Magic is... healing magic is only the healing magic is universal, so you cannot Holy Light a destroyer, even though the destroyers themselves can get a death coil. So that is a bit of an issue there, and why the destroyers are just so difficult to take out. The human inability to put a physical non-magical ailment on destroyers is what makes humans so weak to destroyers. Not having access to ensnare, even their shackle, supposedly a better version of ensnare, is weaker against those destroyers, as the Mountain King does have an orb of fire, and well, the Paladin, I thought I clicked on Paladin. Paladin does not have an orb of fire and is unable to get damage down. Coming back through, the destroyers are going to be ready to lead the charge here. Well, Lich, Death Knight, Crypt Lord, 433, perhaps Scroll of Healing getting picked up onto that Crypt Lord as well. Dark Ritual being used there to get more mana onto that Lich. And this is a straight up destroyer matchup here. Not even any Crypt Fiends to deal. Impale, stunning two of those priests right there. It's going to be Staff of Staff of Teleportation, the Staff of Sanctuary saved, as we are seeing one Lich getting absorbed in the back. Dragonhawk Riders, this a pure air battle here. The Dragonhawk Riders trying to go up against the Destroyers in a sheer number matchup. The Destroyers are actually dealing more damage and being able to finish off more units, as it feels like JohnnyCage is just overcommitting, trying to take down this hero. And even with all of that there, more impales, more damage coming back on through. It doesn't seem like they will be able to keep it alive. 57 supply compared to 48. JohnnyCage is going for broke in a Hail Mary heroes, and it just is not working. Death Knight with Unholy Aura has been able to keep things going. Death Knight, not aware that it needs another Death Coil potion of invulnerability being transferred over. Death Knight now retreating back again. Could try to go for another Death Coil. There it goes, making sure that that Orb of Fire debuff was removed. Destroyer heads up into the air saying, you know what, Griffins, I'm not afraid of you. All I need to do is, it's Morphin time. Destroyer is now absolutely destroying everything else here. Lich could get taken down once more. One more Stormbolt is all that is needed. It gets taken down pretty quickly, but at what cost, as all of the priests are down and now all of the units are just trying to retreat and run back. Archmage, Paladin, Mountain King looking to run back here. More priests joining in on the battle, trying to fight over here. A Stormbolt goes down onto the Death Knight. And, if somehow TeRRoR loses this game, it is going to be because he doesn't have a wide enough or a diverse enough army. Stormbolt now going down onto the hero as well, without any Crypt Fiends to just get a little bit of damage and then snare down those units. Things could go sideways quickly. What is going to go down? Stormbolt onto the Zeppelin. Zeppelin not going to be able, or onto the Crypt Lord, not going to be able to pick up in time, and is somehow TeRRoR going to be able to do exactly that, as the Zeppelin does get taken out. All right, bash onto the Zap. Can you bash a Zeppelin? All right, bash onto the Zeppelin. The Zeppelin was stunned down there. Meanwhile, Lich is trying to get resurrected. 57 supply compared to 50. And with all of this said and done, an army of destroyers going up against the rest of these units here, trying to fight their way through. All right, Death Knight is out and about. Death Coil is going to try and save a little bit. There is a little bit of, a little bit of additional saving as well here, as our Nerubian Tower is trying to offer in a little bit of slowing effect across multiple units. Death Coil trying to finish off units as well. Death Knight now joining in on the battle here with an Orb of Corruption. So Orb of Corruption getting negative armor across all of these air units, as the magic damage is trying to hit those targets. Death Knight is now sitting at level 4 as the units are going back the other way. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight could be in a little bit of trouble. Down to 719, trying to retreat back once again. Mountain King continuing the engagement once more. Mass destroyers trying to stay alive here. Obsidian Statue. Lich is now out on the battlefield as well, as the Obsidian Statue is trying to heal up the remaining units. All right, Lich does have a little bit of big damage. Orb of Corruption on the Death Knight, in addition to the Lich to be able to engage against those air units. Meanwhile, the higher hit point Griffin Riders and Dragonhawk Riders benefiting from that Fountain of Health, being able to heal up and, perhaps make their way back out again. Good morning to you. Good to see you, as we're looking at, JohnnyCage still sitting on one base play. TeRRoR has been sitting in low upkeep for quite some time, and that may actually come back to haunt him, as we're still looking at a bit of engagement here. The Dragonhawk Riders going after these destroyers. The destroyers with the fast movement speed as well, but the Dragonhawk Riders able to, get a little bit of poke damage time and again, and still try and, get in, pick off a unit. There is a water elemental right there. I'm going to see a devour magic. No, we are not. Units are going to turn back around. The simple sheer number, I believe the destroyers could actually, wouldn't normally be able to win out in a battle, but because of the upgrades, things are a little bit more difficult. All right, in comes the units. One low hit point destroyer quickly getting taken down there, unable to get back home, and things are going to starting to go sideways now. JohnnyCage finally taking the supply lead. Destroyer back out. I don't believe there is an Altar of Darkness anywhere, so unable to resurrect that Crypt Lord save from a tavern. And we all know that the tavern resurrection is expensive, and he comes out with no mana and half hit points. Units looking to retreat back here. Is TeRRoR going to be able to hold on to this? Mass Destroyers going up against Mass Dragonhawk Riders. Here's the fight. A quick Frost Nova across multiple units, and in comes some more damage. Destroyers trying to go after the units. Destroyers don't have mana, and that is a big problem. Not being dropped down. Units are still fighting every which way through as the Crypt Lord gets up to level 5. Mountain King's throwing down storm bolts like his life depends on it, and it does as the Lich now backs away with a potion of healing in time. Potion of lesser invulnerability still right there. Staff of preservation continuing to save. 41 supply compared to 45. Units are still backing up again, down to 48 to 38, 45 to 38 as JohnnyCage now being forced to retreat. More damage going down onto that Mountain King. Orb of Fire, he's not trying to fight back at all. Death Knight leading the charge here, does move faster, but there are boosts of speed on that Mountain King here. Units are still chasing down that movement aura bonus for that Death Knight, trying to lead the charge against all of these units, and perhaps going to get some damage onto some of those units as well. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble. Is he going to be able to stay alive? He does have another potion of Holy Light. Potion of healing is on him, uses it in time, but that potion of healing effect was not nearly as strong because the Orb of Fire effect was right there. There does go Scroll of Town Portal, leaving behind the level 4 and the level 3 Paladin trying to fight back here. Crypt Lord trying to catch up, and wow, that Scroll of Town Portal just not close enough, hanging the Archmage, hanging the Mountain King and that Paladin. Death Coil trying to finish off that last Paladin. Paladin down to the 41 hit points. Is it going to be able to lead the charge here as the Death Knight tries to get some unholy aura movement speed? Staff of Sanctuary saves the Paladin temporarily, but he is currently stunned. Devour Magic, and now going after those units once more. Surprisingly, the Devour Magic actually allowed the Paladin to stay alive a bit longer as it unstunned him, and now he's able to use Divine Shield and that Potion of Healing. Coming back the other way, Destroyers are looking to take things down. They're able to take things out pretty. Paladin's 15-second Divine Shield should be coming to an end. Low hit point Destroyer trying to retreat back. Dragonhawk Riders are going to be going in for a chase right there. Meanwhile, more engagement. Paladin about to get taken down. Nope, not yet. Down to 12 hit points, down to 5. Finally taken out as the level 3 Paladin falls. All right, Archmage, Mountain King, Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 209 hit points. It could get taken down. There's a Death Coil onto the Archmage. Archmage goes for an Impale, trying to retreat back here. Is it going to be able to get away? There's a level 5 level up, and that level 5 level up may be enough to keep that Archmage alive. Stormbolt continuing to fight here. Crypt Lord does have an Orb of Corruption, could be going after units as well as the Dragonhawk Rider gets taken down. Level 5 now on the Mountain King. Level 5 Mountain King. Level 3 Stormbolt onto the Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord taking quite a bit of damage. May need to try and retreat back. What is he going to try and do? Tries to get in some damage. Dragonhawk Rider trying to make its way back over as we are looking at the last hero getting taken down. What the frick was that? All right, so TeRRoR, I don't know. I have not seen a game go back and forth that much in the final 3 minutes. It really looked like TeRRoR was losing, then TeRRoR was winning, then TeRRoR was losing, then TeRRoR was winning after that Archmage got hung. Paladin ends up getting saved by Destroyers because the Destroyers got greedy and devoured magic on the Paladin, removing the stun from the Staff of Sanctuary, allowing him to use the Potion of Healing, and then eventually using that Divine Shield. It was at like 12. It was at like 20 hit points. 20 hit points. Just a great game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.